Jeff Bezos.
Bill Gates.
Steve Jobs.
I don't know.
Not sure.
I have no clue.
Refrigerator Ladies, the miscommunicated story of the ENIAC 6. Pioneers in computer history, the ENIAC 6 were a group of 6 women at the University of Pennsylvania who communicated directly with the ENIAC, the first electronic programmable computer, by programming it in the 1940s. This story, a key chapter crucial to understanding the history of computers, was miscommunicated at the time, even though this story could have helped communicate to the world that women belong in the field of computer science, eliminating the discriminating thoughts that still exist in workplaces today. At the start of the 19th century, refrigerators were just being introduced to the world. To make these new products look good, female models posed in open refrigerators with a flourish in advertisements. These advertisements were so common that it earned models at the time the nickname Refrigerator Ladies.
And so the ENIAC 6 showed me what I hope they show you, which is that women can do anything. So it made me feel better about the work that I was doing in computer science and that I belonged there and had every right to be there. Stayed in my computer science courses because I found out about the ENIAC 6 and they inspired me to believe I could go into fields of computer science.
Because the story of the ENIAC 6 had been miscommunicated, they were perceived as just refrigerator ladies, though they were the programmers, vital to the creation of the ENIAC. The real story of these women begins in the middle of World War II. During this war, artillery guns were important weapons. To successfully fire on the enemy, the angle and speed of these artillery guns' trajectories were calculated. At the time, speedy calculators did not exist, and while the industry would have hired men, most were at war, so groups of women were recruited to calculate these trajectories by hand. These women were given the name computers. However, it took days to calculate a single trajectory by hand, so this method was not at all efficient. Recognizing this problem, John Mauchly, a professor, thought of creating an electronic calculator that would be much faster. He attracted the attention of the U.S. military, and they approved and funded this project, classifying it as top secret. Work began in early 1943 at the Moore School of Engineering in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. With the help of his friend John Eckert and a few other colleagues, Mauchly finished building the body of the machine. They had created the first of many to come, the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, also known as the ENIAC. However, the ENIAC could not be put to work yet. All that had been built was just the machinery. It had no programming. So, who gave the machine its brains? A group of 6 young, determined female programmers dubbed the ENIAC 6. These 6 women were Jean Jennings, Marlon Westcott, Ruth Licherman, Betty Snyder, Frances Ballas, and Kay McNulty. These women were set out to accomplish something that had never been done before: programming, communication with machines. People like Ada Lovelace had created detailed plans for this process, but the plans had never been executed. The first thing these women did was break down the trajectory formula into bits and pieces that the ENIAC could calculate. Breaking down the complicated trajectory formula was no easy work, though it wasn't something these female mathematicians couldn't do. Programming is a form of communication with technology that has evolved over the ages. The programming of today is very different from what it was before. For the ENIAC to fulfill its purpose, the woman had to do something called physical programming. They communicated with the machine by placing around 18,000 individual wires by hand, accurately and carefully in the correct place. They were the first to ever communicate with a computer in this way. The challenges didn't end here. One small mistake in the wiring and the metal giant would not work. Additionally, wires burnt out every few days, and locating them in the midst of thousands of other wires took extreme skill. Not only was the work difficult, but it was also dangerous. Oftentimes, the ENIAC would overheat, a wire would catch on fire, or someone would get shot. But the women did not give up. They worked long, tireless days, and after many months, finally achieved success. It powered on for the first time in November 1945. The machine was 1,000 times faster than anything that had existed before.
We were sure this machine could do anything we wanted it to do. We were very cocky about that.
The ENIAC was revealed to the general public on February 15, 1946. While the inventors got lots of praise, nobody noticed the female programmers. Reporters and journalists never wrote nor talked about the work that these women did, inaccurately communicating that they were just refrigerator ladies who had nothing to do with the creation of the machine. And like that, due to miscommunication, the story of these impactful females was misunderstood. Since the ENIAC was completed 2 months after World War II had ended, it could no longer be used for the war effort. Nonetheless, in the following years, the ENIAC was still used for calculations in many operations. Yet, the ENIAC 6 were not recognized. In fact, these women were not invited to the ENIAC success party as programmers, but only as dates, wrongly communicating again that they were not part of the team that had worked so hard to make the machine work. Even though these women weren't properly recognized, without them, the ENIAC would have never been finished and further developments in this field would not have been made.
I had a fantastic life. Everything I did was the beginning of something new.
These 6 women were far more than just refrigerator ladies. They had communicated with the machine. They were programmers. In this story, the failure to properly communicate resulted in the misunderstanding of computer science history.
So when I came across the photographs of the ENIAC 6, I took them to a professor who then sent me to a computer historian who then told me that they were refrigerator ladies, a fancy name for the models in the 1950s. And so I thought, wait a second, if you put a model in front of something like ENIAC, they would look confused. And these women didn't look confused. They look very confident, right? In the pictures, they're smiling, they look confident, they have a stance that kind of indicates that they know what they're doing. And I'm like, wait a second, they're not models. When I talked to them, when I showed them the pictures, they're like, of course that's us. And no, we're not models, we were the programmers.
There is such a culture that women aren't supposed to be in STEM fields. We haven't completely made that shift to women can do the things that men can.
Communicating the real story of these women can give inspiration to future generations of young women across the world. Teaching the history of computer science to kids from a young age can show them that they can go into the field of computer science and be successful no matter their gender.
So over the past 6 years, I've built the 62 people team, which has 3 females in the entire 62 set.
I mean, when I was in school, there definitely was gender inequality.
Look at yourself beyond being a woman. Don't think that because you're a woman, you have to do something different. Just believe in yourself. So you have the smartness, you have the skill. They also have to work hard. You have to work hard to learn it, to explore it and utilize it. But don't always compare yourself as a woman to a man. Just compare yourself as a programmer to another programmer.
By communicating that women have been successful programmers before, the story of the ENIAC 6 can help change gender discriminating mindsets, creating a positive environment for women who have the potential to code our future. Let's start by teaching the real stories of our ancestors to this generation. Each story communicated is another step closer to gender equality in computer science. Which story will you communicate today?
Even stronger, not a novice.